What's up, guys? We're for another episode of the Madden Scrubs podcast. On this episode, we got Chef. You guys know him as Giants. He's been in the league for a couple seasons now. We've also got the great co-host, Jungle Cat, who's here and is ready to ask Chef a couple questions as we get to know him a little bit.
That I am, ATL. Hey, Chef, your friendly neighborhood JC here. I got a couple generic questions here that we ask everyone that comes on the podcast. We're going to start this off with asking you how long you've been playing Madden for.
I've been playing Madden since Madden 08, but I haven't played competitively in Madden, or this competitive. This is my second Madden, so Madden 16, I believe, is when I started really playing Madden, I would say.
And
All right.
Chef, are
Probably
you
like 2
actually
years,
a
maybe.
Walker? Because you guys sound exactly the same.
No.
Ewok
No,
has
man.
like 50 years on him, so.
True.
All right, so next question.
Yeah.
Before Ewok comes to New York and kills me. Chef, do you have a favorite NFL player? It can be from your favorite team or just anyone in the league in general.
My favorite does it have to be current.
No, it doesn't. Be anyone.
Well, my favorite football player was Champ Bailey from, I guess, the Redskins. Then he went to the Broncos. And that's the only reason I like the Broncos as my favorite team was because of Champ Bailey. So that's my favorite player right there.
At least
Yeah.
I'm not a Tebow fan.
I was not a Tebow fan. Don't you worry about that.
I was a Tebow fan when they played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and they are, good. What was it, 45-3? Anywho, do you have a favorite Madden player?
Madden player? I would have to say probably Thomas Rawls, honestly. He's my favorite player, easily.
Yeah, it's not much of a surprise seeing how your offense is basically centered around him now.
So, Chef,
Well, yeah, considering I can't throw, so.
What's the most unusual or surprising fact that people wouldn't know about you?
I can solve a Rubik's Cube in 45 seconds. So.
See, you
Yeah.
want me to solve a Rubik's Cube, 'cause that's about, farther than I can do it.
Yeah.
So there's about one more quick question here. When you're not playing Madden, you just run around as, chef out in wherever you live. What kind of hobbies do you have?
I play soccer a bunch. I played college soccer a couple years ago. So I just go play soccer. I go play basketball. I just pretty much go play sports or just hang out, I guess.
Yeah, so what position do you play?
Doggy style.
I played. Pretty much. I played I played center back in college, or a sweeper,
Yeah,
whatever you want to call it.
yeah, it's interchangeable. In my high school years, I was a right center mid. So
Oh, you were a wing. That sucks. I'm sorry.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't fast enough to be a striker, and we had a bunch of what's the most political way to put this?
Mexican players.
Mexican kids, yeah, there you go, who
Yeah.
kind of controlled the attacking side of the team. So yeah, I got it there.
Yeah.
I was just basically
from
the
New
guy
Mexico,
that got used
so-
to. Yeah, I was the guy that
Yeah.
set up all the attacking plays. So
Well, that's fascinating.
essentially,
Yeah.
So, Chef, I think you told me you're 21 now. Are you going to be able to come to Vegas with us and meet a couple guys from the league?
Yeah. I'd definitely be able to do that. So, yeah, I'm hoping I could do that.
We're going to have to convince Jungle Cat to join us. Hopefully he'll be 21 by the time we go.
Yeah.
it's gonna be have to be after the second week of August to even have a chance at that. But
Yeah, well, it'll definitely be a happy ever after for Billy if he goes, if you know what I mean.
oh,
Oh,
we'll
Billy.
really finally get to her. Okay, so that about wraps up all the questions I have. ATL, you got any last minute ones you want to throw in here?
Yeah, so Jeff, you've been in the league for a little while now, and you also are in some other Madden leagues. How does Scrubs compare to the other Madden leagues that you've been in CFM?
Well, Scrubs is definitely the hardest league I'm in. I'm in a couple others, and I don't have a losing record, and I have a losing record in this one. And there's just a lot of stuff that you guys offer that most leagues don't offer. Like the league that I run, we do podcasts, but it's not like anything special. I don't do it. I make my other people do it, but this has so much stuff in it. It's the only league I've been in for more than like 2 months, I would say. So it keeps me, wanting to play. I check my Slack and there's like 400 messages a day, so I get to read through the good old Slack chat.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the more chat-heavy leagues I've been in. I think that's kind of the secret of success for this league, other than the competition as well. But it makes it feel real compared to some leagues where the chat's kind of stale, or you just have a handful of people that dominate the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has a say, so it's pretty cool.
Okay. So, real quick, Chef, something to piggybacking off of you just said there. You said how Scrubs, offers a lot that most leagues don't. So, what's something that Scrubs doesn't have that you like to see offered in the future?
Probably like a end of the year like highlight video. That's what I'm trying to do in my other league right now. It's just hard to get everybody's like highlights, and then you have to have the right software to make a pretty decent like highlight video of like the Scrubs year, or like a top 10 plays of the year type of thing.
Yeah.
So that'd be something that was, and I'm sure you guys already thought of that, but that'd be something that would be pretty cool to add.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'd love to have something like that.
Did we not try doing that like 1 year in Madden 16, but not enough people streamed their games, so it was only basically just the same teams?
Yeah,
something like
much.
that.
I mean, it would have been a little easier if everybody just used the almost instead of streaming, use the in-game archive feature for like plays, and then we could string them all together. But it'd still kind of be a headache to edit. You'd have to have somebody who really knew what they were doing.
Yeah, it's something for a computer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a computer nerd, so.
Yeah, perfect. You're hired.
You got the job.
If I want that job.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps up the getting to know Chef segment. We're happy to have him on the podcast. The next segment we're going to move into, we're going to talk about the playoffs. We're only a couple weeks away now in our scrub season for our next playoffs, and this one is shaping up to be a real exciting playoffs, especially in the NFC. The race is really tight. I think the wild card teams already have like 10 or 11 wins, so it's going to be very interesting to kind of see how things shake out. John Gatt, how did you kind of see things working out, or what are your thoughts on the playoffs?
Well, for starters, big props to Jets here. Just basically ran away from the league. I guess some may be a little bit unexpected, but he's basically the controlling factor here in the AFC. The NFC is just, I can't even. There's going to be a lot of upset faces getting turned away from the playoffs this year in the NFC. Going to be a lot of 10 and 11 win teams that probably aren't going to make it, if I had to take a guess here. But, the AFC is, a little bit more open, as it usually is, because we don't really have as much firepower in the AFC that we do in the NFC. But, either way, there's a lot of good teams up top here. It's going to be looking like it's going to be pretty interesting playoffs, and it's really hard to predict who's going to do what, because you never know.
Yeah, I mean, the AFC is almost already set. If you look at the predictions right now, I think Jets is the 1 seed. The 2 seed is, you could argue it's a little open. You've got Titans with 9 wins, and you've got Ravens with 8 wins, and then I've got 8 wins as well. Unfortunately for Retro, he's in the same division as Jets, so he's kind of stuck. He would easily have gotten the other bye if he was in another division this year. Now, when you go down to who's on the bubble in the AFC, you've got Bills at 5-8, Broncos at 5-8, Jungle Cat at 5-8, and Squish at 5-7. So I mean, some things could still shake out. I mean, Chargers right now is winning his division with 7 wins, but the playoffs are almost set, barring anything crazy happening. Chef, what did how do you see everything going? You know, Jungle Cat and I are both in the AFC, so we don't get to play the NFC obviously as much as you do. What do you think about the NFC playoff race?
Well, so I've played everybody in contention pretty much for the NFC, but I think that the Lions will make a huge upset in the playoffs. I think that the Lions has improved his game a lot, so and the Cowboys aren't as much of a powerhouse this year as they were last year. Have to take a shot at Mr. Patty. But, I mean, I think that the Vikings were probably the best team I played this year. And I played the Jets and retro and all that, but I had the hardest time with the Vikings. So I'm going to say Vikings and Lions are my 2 to go to the NFC Championship.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you had a pretty brutal schedule this year. I noticed that. You know, the NFC is it's really a who's who of the better players this season in the league. You were talking about Jocks being the hardest person you played this season. The hardest person I played was Zan. He beat me 10-0. I think I had like 10 rushing yards. Like I could barely do anything against his defense. And I was pretty impressed how he's managed to cut down on turnovers and stuff. So it's really going to be interesting. John,
Yeah.
How did you see the NFC shaking out?
As if I know. I think he's ever going to end up with the hardest streak at the end, really. Because the NFC can flip-flop every week, and one person can be in and then be out the next week, so you never really know. I see Jocks really taking the entire NFC, though, because like Chef said earlier, he's probably the best representative in the NFC right now. So, and yeah, Zan's up there too, but when I played Zan, he kind of almost let me beat him. So I'm going to give him a little knock on that since I kind of suck this year. And Canada sucks. Buccaneers is dead. So it's really going to be all up to Jocks to see if he can actually, because it's his NFC championship to lose right now in my mind. So
Yeah, what I found hard to believe is that Locke didn't take advantage of Patty having a down year. Because Patty's good enough.
Yeah.
The roster's good enough. You know, he's probably not going to have too many seasons like this, and he's got I think a couple first-round picks for this draft as well. So you know what would be really
Oh, he has mine.
yeah, he's got yours. He's got a couple other ones
Very
that
sad
could
day.
potentially be high picks. And
I
what'd be
mean,
interesting is if Patty wins his division, Jocks wins his division. You know, these guys, they could end up playing each other in the playoffs, and I know I won't miss that stream. I definitely look forward to watching that if that happens.
thing with Locke, though, is I actually had him penciled in to win his division, but then his work schedule got kind of hectic, and he had to have a couple sim games and whatnot and auto games. That's what really hurt his record this year.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot that. He has one of those crazier Madden schedules.
Night schedules, yeah.
Losers don't want to stay up to 2 in the morning to play the Eagles. Guys hurt his playoff chances.
Dude, I used to, when I lived
Yeah,
most
man.
of my job, I would come home, I would have to come home during lunch. I would just like sneak away to play Lot because that was the only time we could play.
I mean, Locke's a great player.
I
but,
always have to play him at 3 in the morning,
here.
which is 1 my time, so I mean, it's not a big deal, but
Oh.
So we kind
Well,
of discussed the playoffs a little bit. So let's go ahead and just put it all on the table. Who do you guys see meeting in the Super Bowl this year?
Well, since it looks like A-Walker's let me down from the last podcast, yeah, this is a tough decision. I mean, I guess I'm going to stick with Jocks with the NFC, 'cause he's my favorite pick right now. And, yeah, the AFC. I mean, I don't see... I'm going to go with the Ravens in the AFC, because I just like to see someone get switched up a little bit, you know?
Yeah,
'Cause
and it does happen from time to time. That's been the nice
Yeah.
thing about Madden 17. We've gotten some new faces in the Super Bowl.
Because Jets is currently on top of the AFC, but Brown, he has to play Retro again, I'm assuming. Retro's probably the one person that could probably knock him down. And Stinner here always seems to have his random burst of, being a really strong team. So if he can catch fire at the right time going into the playoffs, he could probably make a run to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that. I think I would put, I think it's either going to be Jets Retro from the AFC, and I'm going to pick Jets just because he's been playing so well. He only has a handful of interceptions this whole year, which has usually been his kryptonite. Now the NFC is a little bit harder for me to decide. I haven't seen any of Jox's games, but I know he's playing really well this year. My gut tells me that that's going to come down to I think it'll be either Canada, Jox, or Falcons. Possibly Wiki. But Wiki has a tendency to self-destruct. So I don't know. Like I want to pick Zan, but Zan has a little bit of that self-destruction too. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make not too bold prediction and put Jox. I think it'll be Jox and Vikings and Jets. Jeff, who you got in the Super Bowl?
I have the Titans and the Lions, two underdogs. Titans not so much an underdog because, he peaks at the right time. His linebacker core and his ability to use his linebacker are scary. So I think he's going to make big plays. And then, like I said, the Lions, he's having a good year, so I'm just going to ride that bandwagon all the way to the Super Bowl.
It's not the only thing you're riding.
That's definitely, I would say, a bold prediction. So that'd be pretty cool to see that come to fruition.
Yeah. Something else that could happen here. We could have a potential to have the real life Super Bowl here between the Patriots and the Falcons.
Yeah,
something you could also look out
I
for.
I don't think anybody would be surprised if Retro makes another Super Bowl.
No, I'm surprised he hasn't made one yet. He made last year's, but consistently.
Right. Yeah. Well, this Madden's just a little harder. I don't know. It'd be easy to say, oh, you just get Maddened harder this Madden, but I don't know. It's just.
You get Maddened harder.
You get Maddened harder. It can confirm.
Yep.
100% confirm.
Yep. 110%.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps up our playoff segment. Next, we're going to go into what you all have been waiting for and what you probably skipped right to over everything else. We're going to get to the Pick 6 Power Rankings. Chef, I'm going to actually let you kick this off. Why don't you go over who you picked for your Pick 6 Power Rankings?
Is that the top 6?
Yep, top 6.
Yep.
Not a big podcast.
Cool.
It's okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings. Go for it.
Yeah, it's all right. So, my sixth best would probably be the Chargers. And then it goes down the list. I actually have Retro at 5. I have the Bucks at 4, Falcons at 3, Packers at 2, and then I have the Jets as number 1. Not a big surprise there. But I put Patriots at 5 or Retro at 5 because he doesn't seem to be having as dominant a season as he usually does. But that's partly due to his tough schedule. So.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised to see him lose to the CPU.
Everyone has those days.
And I was.
No, but
Yeah.
that's like seeing Jesus on the cross. You know it's going to happen, but you don't want to see it.
Oh man.
Wow.
All right. Well, Junkyat, what's your top 6 for the Pick 6 Power Rankings?
Actually, I slightly changed mine a little bit since you guys opened my eyes a little bit. Number 6, I have the Cardinals, who have been catching a bit of a win lately. He's currently 9-4. Basically has this division locked up. Probably not going to make it far in the playoffs. Sorry, Key, but number 5, I have Retro for basically the same reason that Chef has. He hasn't exactly been as dominant this year as he has in previous years. It's probably because he's still working with a rookie quarterback and rookie running back, but after this year, they should be, back to where he was. Number 4, I regretfully have Canada, and because he's doing good, but I don't want to talk about him. Number 3, I have Zan, who, big surprise, or maybe not, really good season this year. He still almost let me beat him, so I'm not going to really let that down. But, that's why he's ranked number 3, because I almost beat him. Number 2 is Jox, my overall best player in the NFC. Really solid season. Just doesn't have to, just basically coast his way to the playoffs right now, as long as he doesn't have any stupid losses here. And number 1's Jets, because Jets is really good.
Yeah, it sure feels like his year. That's a pretty good lineup as well. So I'll go into mine. Number 6, I've got Wiki, the Lions. He's having a really good season. His usering on defense seems to be as good as it's ever been, and he's putting together a lot of solid games. Then I've got Cards. Cards messaged me earlier today and said he is the shittiest best player in the league. I thought that was an interesting analysis of himself. And I said, well, that's better than being the best shittiest player in the league.
Worst.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got Cards at 5. 4, I've got Falcons. I've got Zan. It wouldn't surprise me if he makes a big run in the playoffs, but I say that every Madden season, so I'm just going to quit saying it until he does it. So the next, I've got Retro. I wanted to put him at 2, but like you guys said, he's had a couple missteps this season. Doesn't mean he won't make it to the Super Bowl. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he does make it to the Super Bowl. At 2, I've got Vikings, and at 1, I've got Jets. I think these are almost interchangeable. I just had a game with Jets, and man, he's playing at a really high level. It was one of the more mistake-free games I've ever played in Madden, and still lost by a touchdown. So this really could be his year. It'd be fun to see him make the Super Bowl. I know he's gotten close before, so we'll see what happens. So overall, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you see anybody falling out of your top 6s before we get to the playoffs?
Canada. Screw that guy.
Yeah, I would say Canada also.
All right. Well, if I had put it in my list, I would have picked him too.
I mean, because if you look at it, for Wiki to make the playoffs, he basically has to knock out Canada. So if that's going to happen, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's certainly going to be a fun race to the finish. So next we've got the bottom 5. This bottom 5 wasn't as exciting as we've had in the past. At least it wasn't for me. It felt a little more obvious. I'll kick this one off at 1, being the worst in the league. I have Panthers, 2, 49ers, 3. I've got Colts. That's really not fair, though. He's new to the league, so it's not anything against him. It's just the team's overall record. He could absolutely be a good player, and he'll have an opportunity to show himself as time goes on. At 4, it pains me. I've got Raiders, and at 5, I've got Chiefs. Although I think she's been simmed a couple times this season for not playing her games, so that may attribute to that some too. It's a pretty boring list. Jungle Cat, who do you have on yours?
I'm going to reverse my list and start at the 5th worst team in the league, and I'm going to put myself, mainly because I had very high hopes for this season, and I've all but crumbled in my expectations. I mean, I have slightly picked it up after starting 2-7 and having a really rough patch of games, but I just lost another game to Pat-Man. I'm probably going to jump off a cliff after we get done recording this podcast.
I'll be there with you.
Number 4, I have the 49ers for the same exact reason as on his last podcast. I was saying how he's going to be one of the biggest winners of this season, and he has let me down tremendously. He's last place in his division and currently only has 2 wins. Let me down, 49ers. Number 3, I have the Colts. I mean, I guess is what you said probably isn't a knock on the new guy, even though when I faced the new Colts, I handily beat him by almost 30 or by 30, whatever it was. So he hasn't exactly shown me yet if he's good enough, so that's why he's down here. Number 2, I have the Panthers because number 1, Kurtz is worse than the Panthers. I'm sorry. I know Kurtz has a lot of talent, but he's just as not. I don't know if he's strategically losing games this year, or if he is just in a rough patch. But I've seen Kurtz go have like 10-win seasons before, so I know this isn't like him.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Kurtz has pulled a Homer Simpson, is bringing some of that uranium home, and it's messing with his Madden skills.
Maybe.
He works at a nuclear power plant. What? So, Chef, who you got in your bottom 5?
So I'm gonna go 5-1. So 5, I have the Chiefs for the same reason you guys have, and 4, I have Billy actually as number 4.
Wow.
Yeah. Every time, I mean, I've played him, but I mean, I don't know. It just seems like he lets a lot of big plays happen, and that kills you in Madden, and that's pretty much what I judge off is the big play capacity that you let up on defense. And every time I played him, there's been 2 to 3 80-yard touchdowns every single time. So that's why he's there. And then I have myself at 3 because I had high expectations, not just from me, but from other people to at least, make it to the playoffs. But I'm having a horrendous season. And then number 2, I have the Niners, and then number 1 is unfortunately the Raiders. I like the Raiders, but for the past 2 seasons he's been pretty low on the power rankings, so I have to put him down at number 1.
God, you sound like you're taking your dog to the backyard to kill it.
He's saying you suck. So you want to take that?
All right, y'all talk bad about the big bad man, and well, we'll see if you're still around.
I just want his number 1 pick, so
yeah, I tried.
Better give that to me first.
Yeah, I tried to get that earlier this season. He was having none of it. All right, guys. Well, any parting words of wisdom for the league as we cross off another episode of the Madden Scrubs podcast?
Kurt, stop sucking. Billy, stop being on Chef's list. Me, stop sucking. ATL, hi. That is all.
I need the Broncos to keep losing because that's my only hope of rebuilding my team. Considering the Cowboys have every single pick in this draft.
Oh, that's a good idea. Someone trade me draft picks so I can, undo everything I did last year.
Gosh,
Yeah.
Gosh, who would have every pick going into a draft? You wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, my first year in Scrubs, I had maxed out picks, so it's fun times.
Yeah, well, I brought the team up from 77, so there's something. There's a positive to look for.
And I'm ready for Madden 18. So with that being said, that's it for the Madden Scrubs podcast. Hope everybody's doing well, and we'll see you next time.
Every time you two are getting rough, my mind just sounds like Shia LaBeouf. It says no, 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 just no, 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 no. And every time I see him with you, my heart sounds like Shia LaBeouf too. No, 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 no. just sounds like trying love at the test. No, 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 no. Just no, 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 no. And every time I see him with you, my heart sounds like Shia LaBeouf too. No, 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 no. No, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no.